So often when somebody's speaking about presence, you fall in love with them. Especially if they're an energetic teacher, if they have a very strong energy of that presence, then you fall in love with them. That's just the way it goes. It's just what happens. Because when somebody's talking about presence of what you truly are, it activates that love in you of what you truly are, that completion. And because you've only associated with that, or most people have only ever associated that with personal love, their mind interprets, I'm in love with her. And the mind, or him, the mind gets obsessed with the teacher being the object of love. But you can actually never love someone. There's no such thing as personal love. You can't love someone. There can be a resonance between the body, like the bodies get on and there's a similarity, but you can't actually love a thing. True love, to really love someone, is this presence. His presence is when you're in presence with someone, and it's not even separated like that, so it's not even in love with someone. It's just there's no you and there's no them, and then there's simply presence, which is love. Normally when you fall in love with someone, this is why people have only ever associated this with romantic love. For a moment, when you feel like they want you, and you feel wanted, and you feel loved, and you want them, you stop seeking momentarily. The you fails to exist in time, and there's a collapsing into presence. And then your mind says it's them. It's just that you appreciate the way they are, you're attracted to the way they are, and then you feel like that attractiveness of them loves you. And therefore, you feel whole. You stop looking for something else, and then this magical, immense love takes over. And then your mind thinks it's to do with them because it happens around them, but it's not to do with them. It's that you're forgetting yourself in those moments. It's the same with anything you love, like art, playing music, listening to non-duality talks, anything that reminds you of presence, anything that you fall in love with or love. So you love this subject, or you find me attractive, whatever it is, it reminds you of who you truly are, because there's an absence of seeking. And when someone's actually speaking about presence, you can feel it. Like if I'm talking directly about non-duality, you can feel that alive presence. And then also, because I'm quite attractive as well and a young female, I think that a lot of people believe that they're in love with me. But you can never be in love with me. To believe that you're in love with me isn't love. It doesn't mean with your lover you don't say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And you don't enjoy them and that person, personal company. But to truly love them is to be yourself, which is presence. And to see them as that presence. To not see them as someone, but see them as that innocent presence, beaming through every action they do. Doesn't mean that you'll be with anybody. There's got to be that attraction between the two bodies. But true love is seeing that there is no separation. You can't love a separate object. You cannot. You cannot love something you're in relationship with. There is no love there. So when the person comes back, this is why relationships can be so difficult, because then when the person comes back, you're suddenly you trying to be in love with the other person, and then you doubt your love for the other person. You question your love for the other person. You want that love back. You feel annoyed because you think the other person's taken that love from you. You blame them. You love them. You hate them. And none of it's true. Your love, to truly love someone, you have to be absent. Otherwise it will always be conditioned love. It will be love on, if you do this for me, if you behave a certain way, if you remain beautiful and young forever, if you remain slim, if you do this, if you treat me like that. That's not love. That's to do with pleasure and pain, and all of that comes and goes. None of it's right or wrong. I'm not judging anything. If you enjoy somebody that looks a certain way or a specific look, that's okay to be attracted to that, but that's not love. Attraction isn't love. Love is when you disappear. That's true love. So as a speaker of non-duality, that's what you're meant to be evoking in people. But I notice that some people listening, they make the mistake and they think it's got to do with me. Or it's not got to do with me at all. You are that love you seek. So the teacher's meant to reflect that back to you. But you have to really see that it's not me. Because I'm just in a computer. How could it be me? How could it be me you're in love with? It's just in this moment you feel complete. And when you imagine me loving you back, and me giving you personal love back, you feel complete. And then your love shines through. And you think it's got to do with me. So in Tantra they have practices where you imagine this person you love. You never ever try to get them. You never try to hold on to them. You never try to keep them. You totally allow them to be 100% free. But you use their image to evoke that love in you. And you see repetitively that it's not them. Because how can the image of someone bring you love? It must already be inside of you. It must be there somewhere, and then you imagine an image, and then that love gets evoked. True love is the end of seeking. So if you feel like you're in love with me, use it. Use it to see that you always are love. And even if you just feel love for me as a speaker, you can use that to evoke love. Actually, it's not you doing it because there is no you, but there can be a functioning that produces the image of me. And then love arises from that. But no, it's not me and it's not you doing it, because there is no me here and there is no you there. But from saying that, there can be that happening. It's all about love. It's so beautiful. Everything is coming from that love you seek. And everything is that love that you seek. You are the love you seek. So if you need to imagine me loving you, imagine it, but see that it's your imagination, so it's all in you. You don't need this outside object. But know that every way in which you imagine me loving you is what you lack. So you project that outside, but actually you inherently have it because you can just imagine it and it's there. It's just your sense of self says, I don't have that. I don't have that feminine quality. I don't have that softness, or I don't have all the qualities that you project into me. And then you want it. But how? But can't you see that you can just imagine it and then you feel that? Imagine that energy loving you and then you feel it. You feel complete. It's because me, the illusory me to you, and yourself is all illusory. It's all mind-made. And you've identified with certain aspects of being human, and then you've projected those other aspects outwards. And then as a separate person, you seek for those feelings and those behaviors externally. But it's actually seeing beyond that illusion. But you had it prior to that person. That the experiencer of all this that's prior to that person is totally and utterly complete. And that completion is everywhere. Everywhere. So just feel it. Feel that alive presence. There is nothing outside of you. You imagine yourself to be someone inside that body. And that you have a body. That you have a limitation. But actually right here, right now, there is a live presence. And there is no inside or outside of that alive presence. And that alive presence isn't a colour, isn't a religion, isn't a size, isn't a behaviour, isn't an emotion, isn't a feeling. It's free of all of that. But that arises and disappears in it. So who you are is what always remains. This is it, baby. This is it, baby. This is what you seek. You never seek an object. You never seek an object. Okay, so we take some questions now. Hey, Andrea. Oh, thanks, Andrea. It comes from yourself because there's nothing outside of yourself. Andrea says, thanks for your own introduction, it was beautiful. But it's your own beauty. Isn't that amazing? Every piece of art that you see, every beautiful object, everything is coming from yourself. Not yourself as Andrea, but that which is always present, which never changes. Everything about Andrea, the character, changes. So 9 words that actually, even though in your mind, in the intellect, you think that my words come from outside of you, as the intellect relaxes and that sense of self relaxes, my words are actually coming from yourself. When there is no longer identification with anything, then everything comes from everywhere and from nowhere. Thanks, Andrea.